Hello, Jammin Hyaku, and we're playing home. This is the third episode, so we just entered the basement and we're gonna see what's down here. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take the key? Of course. I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. There were old clothes, tools, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. I had put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough. Don't I have like a hammer that I got a long time ago? So I need something heavy to break through that wall, and need to find what unlocks this door. The front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though I needed to see if Rachel was here. Something heavy. This just leads to the back. Leads out, doesn't it? Something heavy. Can I not just use the sledgehammer thing that I picked up a while ago? Apparently not. Couldn't even remember our last Christmas. That's sad. This is the computer room? Oh, the Harami key I had found in the basement unlocked the door. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? So many questions. There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I take the crowbar? Yes, that's something heavy to break through the door. I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. Makes you feel like you have some kind of defense, I guess, when you're in a horrible situation like this. Back to the basement. What's gonna be behind this wall? Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? Yes. With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down here? Was she okay? It's getting intense. Don't look. What's that noise? A filthy looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I had come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? I want to say no. Do I really have to pick here? No. The rags were wet, matted, covered in dirt and grime, but inside that tattered mess was no sign of my beloved wife. Rachel wasn't there. I looked around in confusion, trying to figure out what to do next. If she wasn't there, where was she? What had I been searching for this entire time? I remembered the look on Rachel's face when I came home, didn't I? Then the awful realization hit me right in the gut. I had been looking at this the wrong way, hadn't I? This is what you've been trying to tell me all along, isn't it? I couldn't find Rachel there, and I won't find her anywhere else because she was never there at all, was she? I stumbled back upstairs, the pain in my leg just a dull ache now, and sat down in my bedroom. My mind was spinning, and the ache I felt before was near crippling. Finally, I could no longer fight the exhaustion, and as I tried to grab hold of something that would make sense of all this, I must have drifted off. Rachel laughed. I guess these books were all actually mine then. Oh no. It was my wallet and with its it was my wallet with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at all of those places before? Well, technically yes, because I found all the stuff there. I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. It must have been I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? Does that mean that he's the murderer? That would explain the letter that I found in the mailbox. The old photo of the man and his wife still rattled me, despite being faded and dirty. I thought I had seen mentions of us in those tunnels, but was I wrong? What was that man up to? Did I think he was responsible for me waking up in that house? Yes. Who else could it have been? It was his house I woke up in, after all. Let's go down the stairs. I really wish I had power. It was the letter I had taken from the postbox. It had gotten a bit wet in the rain. Somebody had obviously had it out for Norman, but who? Oh no, Norman! If I was wrong about Rachel, then what about him? Did I kill him? Honestly, I'm gonna say yes. Who else would fight or say, back off of Rachel, she's mine, other than her husband? It makes sense, right? Sorry for the reflection in my glasses. It's the computer screen's in the dark. I must have. But why? Did we fight? Or was I tricked into thinking he was sneaking around with Rachel? Dang it. What was happening to me? I still had no idea what was on that tape I found in the garbage. If only I had found a way to watch it. Oh, can I not watch it on the TV? I had that old TV for so long. I don't know if I could ever replace it. What happened to the HD TV I used to have? The old VCR had long since broken down, and I'd never bothered to replace it. Dang, means I don't get to watch the tape. Sad face. Curious about what's on it now. Let's go downstairs again. The pile of mail on the floor I now saw was addressed to me. Bills, credit card offers, a letter from the bank. They were all addressed to me. I wasn't going to leave. I had to at least get some answers first. I am home now, and I'm not allowed to leave home. I couldn't go back down, not until I'd gone over everything. I needed to make sure I was perfectly clear. How many breakfasts had I eaten there, completely alone? I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyway. Okay, so back upstairs then. It's the only option. Just checking here. This is the computer room, I believe. Oh, a safe. The old office safe sat on the floor. It used a digital passcode. Did I try to open it? The safe used an 8-digit code. What was the dang code again? No, that wasn't it. Dang, I couldn't remember. I leafed through the notebook I had taken from the forest. In it were the names that had been written down. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose. What did they mean? What about Rachel? Keep going upstairs. It was the key card I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? Yes. Who else would it have been? Norman, what were you doing back there? The laptop had finally run out of power. Dang. I guess without power, you're not going to get any power from the outlet or any internet or anything either, huh? In the dirty, faded glass, I looked like nothing more than a faint shadow. I used to tell myself that Rachel was the one who wanted to keep the tub. In the shards of that broken mirror, I could see my face, gaunt now, hollow and sickly, and immensely troubled. What other illusions had I dreamed up? What other truths were waiting to be exposed? Been in those rooms. This is the TV again. I seem to be lost. This is the safe room. I still don't know where the passcode is. Let's go downstairs again. It seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Back to the basement. Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find, but I had to take at least a look. The hall was cracked and pitted. I was told by an inspector the basement had been partially filled in before I bought the house, but by the look of the wall I was going to need to fix the foundation. Everything smelled musty and old down there. There's nothing really for me to find here. How am I supposed to fix the wall? Even though I just broke it down. That was it. With Rachel gone, I couldn't stand to be in that house a moment longer. Did I leave and say goodbye to that nightmare forever? Yes, I guess. Since I had arrived in town, things had been difficult. Working in the plant, though, had been good for me. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me to get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. Drinking was probably just a way to deal with that. It was almost as if I was trying to beat my brain at its own game. Things stopped making sense some time after that, and my memories of what happened are still in flux. I suppose that was when Rachel came along. This night had been the worst of my entire life. Would it even be possible to bounce back from everything that had happened? Everything I'd seen? You know, in a way, I almost wish I hadn't even woken up tonight. It would have spared me a lot of pain. That man I had found in the old house had killed his wife. I was just sure of it. Just as sure as you killed mine. What had happened in those dank sewers, I was lucky, in my way, to even find my way out of there. But I never did find out what was on that tape that I now kept. Considering all I had learned tonight, I wasn't sure I wanted to. But all I had ever done at Norman's place, or even in that old forest, it didn't look good, that's for sure. Had I been responsible for what had happened there? What do you think? Was I guilty, or was I just mad? That awful forest, though, was no better. It was dark, stuffy, and terrifying. Why had someone left that notebook? I didn't remember seeing that list of names anywhere else. Did I miss something? There were probably more terrifying discoveries to make in those woods, but I would never go back. Still, I knew that Norman had been going back to the factory, but I wasn't sure I understood why. The guard outside had obviously met a violent end, but do you think it was Norman? At this point, do you think he was even dead? I had to catch my breath, to take it all in. At each point until the factory, things had only gotten worse. But then going to Norman's store, that's where confusion and doubt had started to set in. That's when my perspective on all this really started to change. But Norman, it was clearly I who had ended your life. Whether you were a miserable bastard and deserved it, or whether you were innocent, well, that will be for someone else to decide. Maybe you knew the truth that I only now understand. Maybe that's why I came to you. But as painful as all that was, oh no, I couldn't bear to think about it again. After all I had seen and done, finally coming home was supposed to be the end to this entire ordeal. I had no idea, though, that it was only the beginning. When I had first stepped through the kitchen door, the silence had been unnerving. But to think that I went through all of that, completely unaware of what I would discover, had I killed Norman, thinking that well, that there was something going on. Everything that I had held dear and true was now spinning around me. I had nothing to ground me, nothing to give me purpose or even the faintest hope of reason. Without Rachel, without what I had thought was Rachel, I was lost forever. As the door swung open, I could smell damp grass and the closeness of air. After everything, it felt like I had more questions than answers. You made me see the truth, I'll give you that. But now I was completely lost. You took away the only thing that had kept me going. I was sure word would get out, and soon enough the police would come looking for me. And what then? Would you be there to show me the way? What will I do then? So many questions and no answers. Dang. I haven't played that game in forever, but it was a good game. I think it's really good. I enjoyed the game. The story is pretty, dang good, I think. I liked it. I hope you enjoyed the story too, and I'm sorry if that didn't answer all your questions, but yeah. If you want me to replay the game, feel free to leave that in the comments, and perhaps sometime I'll get around to it, and maybe we'll take a different storyline and find a different answer. Thanks for viewing the episode, and this has been Jammin Hyaku playing Home, a very unique horror game. Thank you for watching.